Alright, and we're back. So let's go ahead and create a new component here. And it's going to be our list component, so we'll just say we're going to call it list.jsx. And there's going to be some boilerplate here, so I may pause this, or let's just write it out. So import React component. You know what, it's probably easier just to steal it from our other component, so let's do that. We'll say that, paste that in there. We're going to need some of this, probably. And we're going to need our render method. And, you know, I'm just trying to save time here. You can totally just type this out, so you don't have to, you know, copy paste. Sometimes it's good to write things out so that you remember it better. But for the sake of saving time, I'm just going to copy paste. So class list extends component render. We don't need this. Return. We can probably get rid of. Actually, we're going to need this because let's see. This is going to be people, because remember there's a people property here, const list people. That's one of the properties on the list component that we're passing from the parent component to the child component. So here is where we're going to be using it, people, and here we can destructure again and say this.props.people. And what else? Let's see. Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's get rid of this, get rid of that. And here we're going to use map, which is a cool JavaScript kind of functional style function that lets you iterate over an enumerable. So in this case, our people object can be enumerated. Well, it's an array. If you see here. Oops. Well, I got a problem because we haven't finished our component. But basically, what we're getting back from the API is an array, so we can iterate over each of the items. So let's do that. Hopefully it'll make some sense. So we'll say people.map, and for each person we're going to call them, each one's going to be p, and arrow function, and we're going to, let's just print out console.log p, okay, for now. So let's see if we still got errors. List is not defined. Okay, that's because I haven't imported it. So we're going to go here, import list from, it's in the same folder. And there we go. Let's see if we got an error still. Export default list. Okay, let's fix that. I think it probably has to do something with a typo that we may have here, so I think we're missing a bracket. Alright, let's try it now. Okay, cool. So now you can see we get back, first this is our first console log in the main, in the big component, in the sort of parent component, and then here we're console logging each one of the items. So we're mapping over every one of these items in this array here, and we're printing each one out with our map function. So hopefully that's pretty straightforward and it makes sense to you. I'm going to check out the code again. I do have a bit of an error here because well, we're not really returning anything, which we probably should. So let's say return. We're just console logging right now, right here, just to make sure that it works. And I always do that just to make sure, you know, everything's running smoothly. So let's actually return what we're going to be displaying on the screen. So let's make a div, and inside this div, remember you got to give each one a key. So let's say key equals, just for the sake of making it unique. So let's say p.url. I think if we don't have that, it might throw an error. It might not. You might actually not need that. But either way, we'll leave it in. So h1. Let's give this a class name. And after this, we're going to just do some styles, and just to make it look pretty. But say we'll print out the name, and again, and I'm sorry that my kind of formatter isn't working out here, so it's all messed up. But you know, this doesn't look real pretty. Maybe if we did something like that, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it still looks pretty ugly, but whatever. Should work. What we're going to do here is create our third component. Let's call it, I was going to call it character info. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. So it's going to have a prop called character info, and it's going to send over P, okay? So whatever is in P, we can use it in this child component called character info, which we haven't created yet. and we'll be able to display it. So let's save this real quick and see what we got. Character info is not defined. Yes, that's true. So import character info from car info. Save that. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna do some styles, and you can go ahead and do whatever styles you want. And then we'll continue in the next video, and we'll actually create this component. Okay? So I'll see you in the next one.